Alright, y'all, so if y'all have been on any of the crocheting craft sites, you know that right now the moss stitch variegated blankets are all the rage. So I've seen several people asking, how do you do the moss stitch? So I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you with all of this variegated yarn because it's kind of hard to see when you're trying to work it up on camera. It's hard to see the stitches. So I am going to grab, I think I'm going to use this one here, maybe. We're going to see how that one looks. So I can show you how to do the moss stitch. The moss stitch is actually super duper simple. If you can do a chain and a single crochet, then you are going to be able to do this moss stitch. Hang on a second. Whoa! I'm going to do this from a center pull. Because it comes out easier. There we go. Okay, so moss stitch, super easy. Again, if you can single crochet and make a chain, then you're going to be able to do this moss stitch easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so you're going to start out with a slip knot on your hook, and then you're going to do a chain. Now I make mine, and I guess everybody does, I'm not real sure, but I start my each row with a single crochet. So I want my chains across, or my stitch count across, to be an odd number. So I'm going to chain a even number of stitches, however wide I want my project to be. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and chain, let's do 16. Okay, so I think that is 16. Let me just double count here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to work a single crochet. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to work into these back humps. Now, if you want to do a single crochet foundation row all the way across, you can. A lot of times I would do that, especially if I am making like a mug coaster or something. I'll go ahead and do a single crochet row foundation, and then my last row of my project will also be a single crochet row. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to show you the moss stitch. Okay, so you're going to flip your project over and then working into, now remember this first chain does not count as a stitch, so you're going to go into the back hump of this the second chain from your hook and work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then into the next one, do a single crochet. Now, if you don't want to work into the back humps, you don't have to, and then chain 1. You can work into the chain however you normally like to do that, but I like to work into the back hump because it gives it a nice finished edge. Okay, so after you chain 1, we're going to skip a chain, go into the next one, and do a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and then single crochet. And then we're going to continue this all the way across. The chain 1, skip 1, and then single crochet in the next until we reach the end of the chain. When you get to the end, you should have 2 chains left, so you'll chain 1, skip 1, and then single crochet into the very last chain. So this is what your project is going to look like so far. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now every row is going to start the same. Every row is going to start with a single crochet in that last single crochet of the row previous. So we've chained 1, and now we're going to go into this very first single crochet and work a single crochet. Okay, and now is where the moss stitch pattern starts to take shape. In every chain one space of the row before, you're going to work a single crochet. So right into that chain one space, we're going to work a single crochet. And then we're going to chain one. And now we're going to skip the single crochet that we made on the row before and jump over to the next chain one space and work another single crochet. Chain one, skip the single crochet and go into the chain one space and work a single crochet. And then you continue that all the way across. Chain one, skip the single crochet, and then work into the chain one space. And y'all, that's all there is to the moss stitch. Chain one, skip the single crochet, work into the space. Okay, so now we're coming up to our last chain one space. So we're going to work into that. Okay, now instead of doing a chain one here, we're just going to work a single crochet into that last single crochet of the row. Okay, and so that's what we've got now. Chain one and turn. Into this very first stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. Okay, now we see here our next stitch is a single crochet. So we're going to chain one, skip over that single crochet, and then jump over to this chain one space and work a single crochet. And that is going to be your repeat for this row. So we're going to chain one, skip one, and into that chain one space, work a single crochet. Chain one, skip one, and single crochet. And then you're going to continue that all the way across. We're on our last two stitches. Skip that single crochet and work a single crochet into the last stitch. And that is how you do the moss stitch. So one thing people have been asking, the number one thing I think I've seen, is do you have to use a variegated yarn to make the moss stitch? No! You can use whatever yarn you have, and you can do as many rows of each as you want. I had this cotton here that I picked up at Dollar Tree still laying around. So I decided to make up this little swatch here just to see how it would look. I did 2 rows of each color. Okay, and so if you wanted to do one row, move this out of the way, one row of each in a solid, this is kind of the effect that you would get with it. Again, this is just some cotton yarn that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that I had laying here. And y'all, I've got a big tangled mess because I didn't tie it off and I didn't end each row because I'm not sure that this is going to stay like this. But I was thinking that would make kind of a cute fall coaster. Yeah, I thought it'd make a cute little fall coaster. It's cotton, so it'd be absorbent. But anyway, so that's that. And you can mix and match. You don't have to use all striped. Or all solid. You can use a self-striping. You can toss in a variegated to go with it. Whatever you want to do. This is your project, and you can do it however you want to with whatever colors you want to use. I think the craze right now with all the variegated is the randomness of it, and so you can go ahead and use up all of those one skeins of variegated yarn that you picked up because you thought was super pretty and now you don't have anything to do with it. So you can mix and match and just every single skein of variegated that you've got. Or like me, I think what I'm gonna do is take all of my scraps, my scrappies, my leftovers. So I've got balls like this that are all different sizes. Some of them are like this, and then I have this one. So obviously there's more of this than this, but it's not a full skein. But so I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then like this one I may do 2 or 3 rows, whereas these will probably barely make 1 row. I decided I'd go ahead and get started on my scrappy moss stitch blanket. I've changed colors each row, leaving a long tail on either end so that I can have fringe. I have used solids, variegated, self-striping, just a little bit of everything that I had in my scrap pile. And this is how it's looking so far. And then I'll just keep adding to it over time until it gets as wide as I want. I did go ahead and make it as long, that way it'll go ahead and cover up my feet. But yeah, this is how it's looking. I hope you have enjoyed this little quick tutorial. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!